Hey everyone, my name is Cardboard Collector, C Squared for short, and I'm coming to you with my very first video review. And this is going to be on the Mafex 185 Spider-Man comic version. Um, so, like I said, this is my first review. It's been a long time since I've done YouTube reviews. I'm no stranger to it, but it's been a long time, and I was doing different reviews on different things, and but I've always collected figures. Just now recently got into Mafex. I've been really enjoying them. But I've through the years collected all kinds of Marvel Legends ever since Toy Biz had them. Um, I've collected just all kinds of SH figure arts, Transformers, a bunch of different Hasbro stuff. Um, just a ton of different figures. Very diverse. But mainly, I've always loved focusing on DC and Marvel characters, or just these really nice posing action figures. And I recently have gotten into the sorry for the shakiness there. Recently got into the Mafex line, and so with that, this was my first entry with the Mafex line, and what a first entry, but uh, to say the least. But we'll save that for the review, you know. But let's just kind of go ahead and get into it here. So what we have here is, like I said, the it's number 180, it's Mafex number 185, Spider-Man comic book edition, or the comic version. There was another version of this. I believe it was the 075, which was the first that kicked it off, Spider-Man for Mafex, and they knocked it out of the park with that. So well, they made multiple different versions of Spider-Man, and decided to redo this one. The difference between this one and the 075 is the 075 color scheme, which is a little different, a little darker, and it came with a Peter Parker unmasked head. Now, I plan on getting my hands on a 075 just because, one, I love a good unmasked head, and two, I love the Spider-Man figures in this line, Mafex, so much that I definitely want to try to get the first one. But let's go ahead and let's just dive on in with this guy here. So as you can see, he is a fantastic looking figure. The paint applications on these things, on a lot of these Mafex figures, are phenomenal. I mean, the bag, big red spider logo, the wide eye detail here, very reminiscent of the Todd McFarlane 90 Spider-Man, which that is my era. That I was a 90s child, so I grew up with comic books, with the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, Azrael Batman, the Clone Saga, Nightfall, just a ton of different really great stories. And this was my era of figures. Or I'm sorry, so these figures are my era of the comic book characters. And Mafex has been hitting all the high notes for me with the nostalgia points of those comic book characters, and this one's completely no exception. So I mean, like I said, great looking figure. Let's move into the articulation. So the neck is on a ball joint. You can go up, down. It goes up about that far. You can look down completely far. This is great. And so the head's on a different joint than the neck, so the head can actually 360, and then the neck can too. It's really tight, but you can kind of 360 that neck, and it's got some movement in there to help you really get that range of posing. And then we get to the arms here. Your arms can 360. They have the butterfly joint, which is insane on this thing. I mean, you can get an arm cross going on this thing. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I can't do that on a lot of figures. I mean, there's a lot that I'm sure that can, but I mean, for me, this is my first forte into it, and it's so awesome. You got the bicep right here, 360 those, double jointed elbow. You have the your hand here in 360, and it's on a peg, and it's you can move the peg and actually get some movement out of the wrist there. So you got your wrist swivel, which is really good. especially for Spider-Man because you're doing some web shooting and stuff. Diaphragm right here, you got some movement in that. You can 360 that. You can move it all side to side, back and forth. Then you get to the waist here, which you can 360 side to side and get you a really deep range. You can bend down about that far, bend back about that far. I mean, it's really posable. Then we're going to get to the legs here. The legs, you have the upper thigh cut here. It can go up and back about that much, but then you have a leg drop, which gets you a little bit further back. The butt back here has got a kind of a softer plat, so you can kind of push it. I don't like to push too much because I don't want to hurt anything on this figure because I like it. But your leg can really just, get some killer leg movement. Get you some really nice PlayStation Spider-Man vibe with the swinging and the posing. And then the knees right here are double jointed. So you can go back about that far. Can't quite get it touch his butt. I'm not going to try to break my figure trying to do it, but I mean, it's really good. Top of the boot here, I don't think there's a boot cut. If there is, mine's not moving. It's like super stuck. And I don't want to push it because I don't want to break anything because I really like this figure. If yours does it, just hit in the comments. Let me know. I'm not sure if it does or not. Then you got the ankle here. You can tilt side to side. You can go backwards and then forwards that far. And then you have a toe pivot there. So really generous articulation Mafex has. And for a character like Spider-Man, I feel like you have to have that that generous articulation. Otherwise, do you really have a Spider-Man? You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be. So let's move on to accessories now. Mafex, again, generous with the accessories compared to other lines. First up, let's do the open hands. So with Spider-Man, you get a pair of open hands. Oh, focus. Yeah, open hands here. And then you get some more relaxed hands. Focus. There we go. Relaxed hands. And then you get the famous, gotta have them, web whipping hands for that web shooting. And then when you have web shooting, you gotta have a hand to catch the web to swing on. So we have our holding hands, which have a small little circle right there. And we'll get to that in a minute for holding, webs and anything else you put in there. Now these hands right here, let me get into focus. They're closed off, so it's just that tight little circle. You cannot open those fingers, which is not a deal breaker for me. Just because of the fact that they're meant to be holding the webs that come with it, and that's fine. That's what I'll use them for. I mean, you can probably cut those hands. I've heard people cutting at the fingers and open them. I'm not that brave. I'm not going to try that. But that is something you can do if you wish. It's your figure after all. Do with it what you want. And then Mafex did something cool, and they gave us these hands here that have magnets. And you also have these feet that have magnets. And you can interchange those and put them on your Spider-Man so he can hold to metal objects with the magnets, which is really cool, or other magnets or whatever. And the only time I've ever seen that was with the Spider-Man 2 movie with Tobey Maguire, that when their toy line with Toy Biz, there was a magnetic hands and feet Spider-Man that I have somewhere. I can't find it. I was hoping to find it for this review. It was on my refrigerator here for years, and then my wife took it out the refrigerator, and I'm sure my son got a hold of it. So I'm not 100% sure where it's at, but he had magnets in his hands and feet too. And it's a really cool feature. It gives you more of that Spider-Man feel, hanging onto a wall or hanging onto something, using his spider powers, and I really like that. I dig that, and I'm glad that Mafex gave that to us. Next accessory here is another mask. There's another head, and he's got these kind of glaring eyes, and I really like that. It really throws me back to the vibe of the comic book and the panels when he's fighting. He's getting angry, just that kind of look. I really dig that. I enjoy that a lot. So let's move next to the webs. You actually get these webs with him. You get some nice little shooting webs and everything. So here we have the short webs. and they all have these little circles. Not all of them, but the ones that he can shoot have these little circles. So you take the hand off and you put them on there, and put the hand back on. It sits on to the peg, and then you can use it like you're shooting the webs. So you have the short ones, and then you have a pair of the long ones here. Oh, ouch! Hit my computer. Whoops. And then you have this web right here, which is to shoot, and the other hand, this is where you put into the holding hand, and so it's like you're holding onto the web, so you can have him like he's holding onto the web here, and it's off, have it off screen, and like he's holding onto the web and getting ready to shoot one of the other ones with his other hand. He's like he's web slinging. That's really cool. And then last, you have this web here with this extended web kind of opening up. And it looks like, you can hold that in too. And this kind of reminds me of like when Spider-Man would be shooting a web and about to, trying to like net the bad guy with the web to kind of capture him. And then it has this little piece that hooks onto the, let me get this here. That hooks onto the stand. This is another thing the Mafex always come with. They always come with a stand. And depending on your size of the character, they'll be, this is how big that will be. And they have some for characters that have flight that are a little taller than this, which is really nice. I'm glad they kind of accommodate that. Oops, shaking everything here. Sorry, guys. First review, a little nervous. I apologize. But anyways, so you have this effect, and there's this little piece here that hooks into there, and somewhere it kind of hooks onto, I guess, one of the joints here. Now let's see. Take that off. I think it hooks right here. Yeah. So it hooks. Well, that's kind of loose. Okay. Okay. Well, there's a reason for it. I'm not sure exactly. It's supposed to hook onto it somewhere. I haven't really had a chance to fiddle with that very much. If y'all know exactly where it's supposed to hook at and how it really is used, please put it in the comments below. Let me know. That'd be great. Because that's not an effect that I use a lot, to be honest. So I really wouldn't know exactly 100% what it's supposed to be like. But that's kind of the gist of it. So that is all the accessories. So with the accessories out of the way, let's get into some comparisons. So with comparisons, I'm going to compare it to some of my other Mafex Spider-Man that I have. First up here, we have the Scarlet Spider. Mafex Scarlet Spider. There we go. And maybe it's crazy to me. Let me kind of get him. But he looks taller. I don't know what it is about him, but he seems. Let me just see if I can try to get him posed up about the same. But there's something about him that seems taller to me, and I'm not sure why. Because technically, Scarlet Spider-Man is Ben Reilly, who was a clone of Peter Parker in the Clone Saga. If you haven't read that, you need to. Like I said, one of the popular things back in the 90s. And, well, I don't know if it's popular. Very controversial, but great. I think it was a great read. And so he's technically a clone of Peter Parker, so he should be the same height. But for some reason, mine just, and I don't know if it's just the way, because I did a video with him earlier, and even when I was posing him then, with some of the pictures I've taken, they still seem like the Scarlet Spider-Man's taller. And it really bugs me because, and maybe it's just me, maybe I don't have something posed up right. I don't know. I mean, and I know what you're gonna say. It's probably because this one right here, your 185 is the CT Toys version. I can promise you that it's not. I have the authentic Mafex one, because the CT Toys version do tend to run smaller than the average Mafex that they're copying. So, but anyways, let me know in the comments if you own both of these. Are yours different heights too? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. And then next up here we have the black suit. Oh, well, oops. Sorry. The black suit Spider-Man. Now I know these are the same height. It's just my head here was kind of going down. But it's the black suited Spider-Man here, which one of my favorite Mafex figures, 100%. Because I love 185 and the black suit Mafex Spider-Man, the no-brainer. I love it. Great figure. So let's just move these out of the way. Let's keep moving here. Next up, continuing, we have the 235 Into the Spider-Verse Peter B. Parker. Come on, buddy. There we go. Peter B. Parker. Which I'll do reviews on all these at some point. He is a little taller, but you know, they're not all supposed to be the same size. Spider-Man can be different heights. And then the last for the Spider-Man the Mafex line here, I have the Venom, and I bought Venom the same time I bought my 185, and I fell in love. And a lot of people, I know people has a there's a division when it comes to this Venom, and when I do my review on him, we'll kind of get into that later. But it looks good together. I mean, they just look so great together. So let's move these out of the way, and that's it for the Mafex. So let's move into another line here, and let's jump into the Marvel Legends. Yeah, here we have the animated series Spider-Man. This one comes from the 2-pack, or the VHS 2-pack with the Vulture. And then here we have the Spider-Man Unlimited, which just came out. As far as these goes, these are like my holy grail. This is like my trinity right here from my childhood. We have the animated series, which I love. The Spider-Man animated series, great series. I mean, story, everything. It had no right to hit that hard at as young as age as I was. It was just so good. And then you have, you know, your Todd McFarlane 90s comic book Spider-Man, and then you have the Spider-Man Unlimited, which came after the anime series. So this is all my childhood. It's my childhood Spider-Man through and through. So awesome to have. But they all look good together. And of course, Marvel Legends. This one's kind of close to height. The animated series ones are a little taller, and those Spider-Mans are a little bit bulkier. But still, you know, they look good together. But let's see. Let's move to last, but certainly not least. I have the Mafex Stan Lee, the 1960s kind of Spider-Man, the Stan Lee, Steve Ditko Spider-Man. Come on, buddy. He never wants to stand well for me. There we go. Well, you don't like competition, do you? Alright, let's stand him back up here. Here we go. And they're about the same height, as far as everything goes. Let me just make sure I got all the, yeah, okay. I don't know why I just, they're about the same height. Mezco's generally a little taller. This is kind of like on their, I guess you would call the teen body, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little bit bigger than Team Body, but it's not as big as some of the other Mezco figures. But I think they scale pretty well together. Now, of course, Mezco generally is a bigger line, so you will have, you know, differences there. But that's the general size comparison between all of them. Mezco's in that range. I mean, not Mezco. Mafex is in that range of where some of the figures are scale well with other things like Marvel Legends stuff, and then some of them are like, it's a little shorter. But that doesn't bother me because I love my Mafex collection. So generally I'm posing a lot of those together. I will sometimes mix and match with some of the Marvel Legends and stuff, just because there are things in Marvel Legends that we don't have in Mafex, that they look well together. But overall, they seem to scale fairly good together. Sorry, I'm just gonna fidget with him here. But so just final thoughts on this figure. I love it. This is the figure that brought me to Mafex. This is the reason that I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna buy a majority of the Mafex that seem really good that I can, just because it's such a great figure. I'm not gonna rate the figures because I don't do the rating thing, but I will say that if you have a chance to get this, get it. It's a great figure. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you're like me and you love to photograph figures and you love to put them in poses, or if you just generally like to put them on poses and put them on your shelf. This is the figure that will stand out on your shelf. This is the figure that will stand out in your photography. You know, this one is it's made to be handled. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're not like, meant to take dives or, smack against each other and nothing like that. You're not supposed to be rough with them. We're adult collectors, let's be honest. But at the same time, the posability and stuff is meant to be posed. It is meant to get into some of the crazy poses. And, and like I said, you can really get him into, and I should have done this when I was doing the articulation. I don't know why I didn't. And I will try to do this in the future with him. But, like some of these, like maybe he's doing a web slinging pose, like some of these crazy, like web slinging, like PS4 poses. Let's see. Some of these, crazy, like PS4, like web slinging poses, or maybe he's just, taking a web sling through the city, just kind of, just boom, I mean, it's just so good. It really is. Like I said, if you get a chance, you need to pick, and you love Spider-Man, you won't be disappointed in this. This is a great figure, great Spider-Man. I mean, if you get a chance, pick it up. That's all I can really say. I can't sing its praise enough. I'm not a Mafex fanboy by any means, but I mean, like I said, because there are figures in the line that are and there's figures like this that just stand out above the rest. I'm not gonna say that this is the 100% best Spider-Man figure out there, but I would say if it's not the top, I'd be surprised. To be honest, I know that Marvel Legends is coming out with their Maximum line, and they got the new Spider-Man, which is 100% a Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. The first time I seen Maximum, I'm like, Maximum Carnage. It was a big story in the 90s. So of course they're going to call it, the Maximum series and they have Spider-Man. And it's the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, which was in that series. So it makes sense to me. And of course, I think it's funny because the aesthetics, like I said, the looks, the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, the 90s Spider-Man, and the big Spider-Man figure to me on the market is this Mafex Spider-Man. And they're completely, hey, okay, this is the Spider-Man we're going to go with because the Mafex wasn't so popular. Let's make let's just try to go at it. I'm not saying that's what their thought process was, but in my mind it's like, man, that's just really similar. But it's whatever. It ain't a big deal. And I'm gonna, I'll definitely get my hands on that when it comes out and review it and compare it to this one because I think that it warrants that. It justifies to be compared to this one just to kind of see what are we really getting at $50. This one, of course, is more, but it's so nice. But anyways, I guess that's the end of the review for it. Closing out, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. Like I said, it's my first video back or first review that I've done in a long time. At the end of this video, I'm going to try to, or I am going to put some of my pictures in, some of my photography pictures of this figure. Kind of like some of the other YouTubers. I'm not going to call any names, but they're inspirations to me, and I really enjoy what they do. So I love taking pictures of the figures and posing them and stuff. So I'm gonna, I want to share that with y'all, and I'm gonna put that at some of the end of my videos. And if you have a chance, please subscribe, like the video, subscribe. It really lets me know if my content's hitting you and you really like it, and it gives me the want to make more videos, and I plan on making more videos because I really enjoy this, and I really like share my passion with everybody else, especially if you share that same passion. But please, like I said, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like. That way I can kind of get a feel for everything. And if there's a figure that maybe I might have that you would want me to review, just kind of let me know. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll see if I can try to do it. I'm also in the link in the description. I'll also have, not a link in the description, but in my description, I'm going to have my social media. for Facebook, my Facebook page, and my Instagram, so you can kind of follow me and see some of the pictures. I try to post pictures about every day. Some photo dumps here and there, and I try to post something at least every day. And just give a few likes, and stuff, and follow me. And thank y'all for watching my video, and I'll catch you later.